Hello everyone, welcome back once again to my channel, and in this video we are going to see something about Git. If you are someone who is actively working with Git, you know how easy the projects can get complex, particularly if you are working on a public repository with a large number of contributors. In today's video, I am going to share some tools that you can use to manage these complexities. The third tool I'm going to introduce in the video will be really helpful for anyone who is using Git. So I would highly recommend that you watch the video till the end, and let's go into the video. Pro tip number one, Git diagrams. Here I have my Git repository. As you can see, it's a simple Git repository, and I can go into Git diagrams. So Git diagram is a free tool that can turn GitHub repository into interactive diagrams. Basically, you can visualize the structure of your Git repository and you can navigate back into your GitHub. So in order to work with Git diagrams, you need two things. One is the API key. In order to get an API key, what you can do is you can navigate to playground.openai.com, and here you can go into API key section where you can generate new secret key. So I have already generated my key called Git Diagrams, which I have also inputted directly here, and it's already saved. So I'm not going to do this step again. And second thing, what you need is private repository. So if it's a public repository, it will directly work. But if you have a private repository and you want to create diagrams out of it, you need to have personal access tokens in order to work with it. How you can get personal access tokens? You can go into your Git and go into the name section, settings, and if you go into settings, it will take you to this page, and if you scroll down, there is something called developer settings. If you click on it, here you can set two types of personal access token. One is called fine grain tokens and one is a classic token. So classic token is basically where you can create tokens for your complete Git repository and provide access. And the second one is called fine grain tokens. So here you can generate a new token, and this is particularly helpful when you want to select only certain repositories. For example, this repository is called DIE, and I can just select this repository and provide access only to this repository for any application. And since it's a public repository, I don't need a personal access token. There are two ways how you can use Git diagram. Either you can directly go here, copy the link, go back to your Git diagrams and paste it here, or you can directly go here and just type Git diagram. It provides you with the overall structure of your Git. As you can see, it has segregated my front-end layer, my service layer, and also my database layer. And you can also enable zoom. This way you can zoom into particular properties and check how everything is working together. What you can also do is you can just click and directly navigate to the particular component file in your Git repository. If you have a large project, this really helps you to navigate between the files. So pro tip number two, generally what we have is a bad habit, including me. We directly use ChatGPT like a code fixing tool. What we do is we copy the code and then ask ChatGPT to fix my code and then paste it. So it basically helps you fix your code, but this is not how you generally use it, because we have not provided the context behind the code of where the code is present and what it's exactly doing, what are the combined components. For example, if you are calling one more function inside the code, it has to find the context, what the other function is doing. So the biggest difficulty till now we had is how do we incorporate a GitHub repository into an LLM model, because LLM models cannot read Git. If you copy this Git clone and ask to extract the data, it can extract only certain files. It can provide you the structure, but it cannot go exactly into every single folder and extract the data. Maybe in the future, soon enough, it might be. But right now, the best possible way to do it, if you go to your URL and just say git Ingest. Now what you have is a summary of the Git. Here you can just say what files to be included, what files to be excluded. Basically, if you have, for example, if you have a node library also part of Git repository, you can just exclude it by saying node/node module/ or Python module/ or whatever it is, if you don't want to do some analysis on the library modules. And you can also include the size of the file which has to be included or which has to be excluded, and it provides a summary and then the directory structure of the entire files. If you say, okay, I don't want to include these files, you can always scratch it off. And the biggest advantage is it provides all the files in the text format. You can copy it and go to an LLM of your choice and start asking questions on top of it. So I particularly like Notebook LM, so I will go here, create new notebook, and I paste my copy text, insert it. It's getting uploaded. Let's wait for some time, and I can start asking questions directly here. So now it has extracted and it is providing us with the details. The project is a simple CAP application document extract. Its primary purpose appears to be document information extraction. Correct. This is what I'm doing here. And the project name and description refers to document extract. SAP Fiori application is there. And yeah, some basic details of what exactly I'm doing with this app. I think so. In this particular case, the LLM has a bit more context to go and deep dive about the code. If you have some questions about the GitHub project, you can ask it directly here. This is just my choice, but you can also ask it to a GPT model or Gemini model or a cloud model. It's up to you, and I prefer Notebook LM. So the third tool in our list is DeepWiki. DeepWiki helps you to generate documents from the GitHub repository. In order to use DeepWiki, what we can do is you can go select the repository and you have to provide the URL of the GitHub repository for which you have to do or create documentation. So you can go and select it. As you can see here, it shows the repository is not indexed. So for the first time when you are trying to create documents for your GitHub repository, it has to be indexed for the AI behind DeepWiki to generate the images and also structure for the documents. If it's not indexed, now what you can do is you can provide your email ID and then say index repository. It will take 10-20 minutes depending upon the size of the repository to index it, and then you can see the documents. For now, for the video purpose, I don't want to wait 5-10 minutes. So I have already indexed a repository. So here you can see this is the repository I have indexed, and here are all the structures. So basically I have everything documented. So I have everything documented here. I can also check the images, the structure of my application. And the fun part is you can also go and ask to Delving AI about explain. As you can see, it has generated the output. You can go through the generated output to see what the exact project does. This is the question we asked to Delvin AI to explain what the project does, and here's the explanation. And it also, on the other hand, provides all the list of files from where it took the context. So I think this is overall a really good document. It saves hours for programmers, particularly because at the end of any development project, you have to create loads of documentation so that if some other developer comes into the project, he understands the context. But with DeepWiki, you can generate everything with AI, and the important part, it is free. So the third thing I wanted to show you is GitStat. I'm not particularly using this so much because I'm not contributing to any public repository. But if you are someone who's working on a public repository and want to see who has done what kind of contribution, how much, and if you want to have a overall status of what is exactly happening in the public repository, this is a great tool. Normally, you can check their instructions how to do it. So you have to go download the zip archive of the Git stat. So you have to then provide the project for which your stacks has to be extracted, and the output would be in a JSON format, which you can later upload it directly here. So for my scenario, in order to explain this video, I will directly choose the existing project, which is React, a well-known framework from Facebook. So if you can see, it has around 533 branches, 146 tags, and yeah, there are all some details of how many people are contributing and so on and so forth. So here it has provided us filter it by commits, by author, by per year, and from which year to which year or which date to which date you need the status to be recorded. It also provides you um, with the highest contributor, number of contributions they made, and so on. If you have someone who is actively contributing to public repositories, or if you want to just have a knowledge of who is contributing to those public repositories, GitStat is a great tool. As always, thanks for watching this video. If you find this video resourceful, please consider subscribing to my channel and like, because this helps the YouTube algorithm to push my videos out to others who might also find benefit out of it. Once again, see you all in the next video.